Hey everybody, Danny O'Malley, Director of Marketing here. Before we start this episode of FAQ Friday, I just wanted to apologize for my terrible audio on this call. It sounds like I have a lisp. I don't have a lisp, and it is not me trying to be funny. It's just that bad. So please try and take it seriously. It's a great episode. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Talk soon.
Welcome to FAQ Friday, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. Beautiful day in Southern California, as usual. I happen to be down here for once, so that's why I look a little different without my giant earphones on. So we got Andy and Brandon, as always, and today
Great.
we are joined by the exceptional human being, Gayla Dempsey, from our Concierge team. Many of you probably worked with her before, and if you haven't, you are in for a treat, let me tell you.
She said today's a beautiful day and it's cloudy here. So coming from Utah, I can only imagine the climate you got right now.
It's either sunny and hot or snowy or rainy or something random in between. Utah has very like schizophrenic weather, so it's that if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes or no, sorry, the meme is you can't have all four seasons in one day, and Utah says, hold my root beer and goes through all four seasons. Anyway.
We've definitely been feeling that up here in Seattle as well, because it's been like temperature bingo. One minute we're 38
Oh yeah.
degrees, the next minute we're 72, and we're just like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But
No.
it's nice. It is actually beautiful. It's been beautiful up here this last week, so we're very fortunate for that sun.
Good stuff. All right. Did I get the screen share to work finally, guys? Can we see everything?
It is. I see
Okay.
it.
Looking good. All right. Special edition here. Again, thanks for joining, and we'll just get going. Okay, we got install of the week here. Thanks for sending this in, Brandon. This is 4 end-phase batteries. This isn't even all the batteries on this project, believe it or not. We were looking at this the other day, and there's an interesting arrangement of pipes and everything on the outside of this install. But we thought the batteries and the panels themselves look great and all that. So as you can see, the bollards are here inside the garage, protecting it from cars bumping into them. So that's always fun. Brandon, anything else on this one that you wanted to call out? I think there's a couple different things on this one that we wanted to just mention, right?
Well, I think as a homeowner, as a sales rep, straight conduit, nice clean lines, all perpendicular and parallel, like that's key. And then the bollards, like you said, like we do it right. So the crew is super nice. Those are all key components to earning referrals. And that's what happened on this project. I think painting conduit, not everybody knows that we do that for every single project out there. So just know that that is part of the platform. Not everybody does that, but we do here at ESP. And man, those black on black panels look great, don't they?
They sure do. Nice and elegant.
Yeah, I think real quick, if I could add on one thing to that is use these photos, guys, to share with your homeowners to give them a really good expectation as to if the batteries are going to go in the garage and that city requires the bollards to be there, they're going to have these new little poles in their garage. And if a homeowner, if we show up to drop these things on their floor of their garage and they don't know what's going to happen, they're going to they're going to ask some questions. But if you get in front of it at the very beginning, it'll definitely help. I know that the bollards are required if they're in the path of the car a lot of the times. If the batteries hang in a space where it's not in the path of the car, then they aren't needed. But again, just check in with us and let us know. And then another thing about the conduit lines, as you can see, with more batteries come thicker and bigger conduit. So like the wider the pipe, right? More wires have to get into it. So let's make sure that we share with our homeowners what things are going to look like before we just show up and randomly start putting the pieces together. And your homeowners are like, wait a second, my sales rep didn't tell me about this. So we can get in front of those things and really set everybody up with the right expectations. So good stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm working on gathering some good examples of this to add to our gallery on the site, which is joinesp.com/gallery if you need a reminder. But yeah, just again, use those to set up the right expectations. Say this could be you, which one of these looks a little bit similar to your home. Hopefully that's going to be the end result here. So always what we're after. Okay, moving on. All right, here's our agenda. Yeah, just again, we're all about concierge today, and appreciate Gayla being here, and she's going to help us just kind of share all the stuff that's been happening with the concierge rollout, all the really cool things, and some stuff that's coming up. And then we got a super secret preview of our sales contest at the very end. So stay tuned, and here we go. Velocity, speed, getting projects done. That's something that's been on everybody's minds. And so we just wanted to share some of the stats that we've been looking at over the last few weeks again, or few months, I should say, as the initiative is rolled out. But yeah, just wanted to talk through some math, just some real basic math. Andy or Gayla, did you want to jump in on this one here?
Yeah, for sure. I can go ahead and take this. We're really excited at how quickly we've been able to get these projects moving since we've transitioned over to Concierge. These new projects that are coming in, project acceptance has decreased in the time that it's taking to get through it. So we've had 2 projects that only took 2 hours or 12 hours to get through project acceptance. 14 only took 2 days. We're really pushing these through as quickly as possible. And a lot of this has to do with the submission and how clean the deal is that's coming in. Are the stipulations clear? Is the utility bill with the install address included? Has the LiDAR been run if there's trees, and then running the production and so forth along those lines? These are all things that really help us speed through project acceptance and be able to increase the velocity. Another thing that we are looking at is the panel placement. Are the panels placed in the correct location? If they're going on top of an existing system, which we have seen coming in, is that system being removed? Is that something that we're doing? If not, then please place the panels in a location where we could actually install them rather than having to go in and fix the design. So little things like that that make a huge difference in increasing our velocity and being able to get these projects into design, into permitting, and into installation.
Nice. Love that. I think when we look at the averages of everything with all of our velocity, it's super important to know that, like, look, the average is right around the 2 to 3 day mark, right? And a lot of jobs got done in that time frame. Though you're probably wondering, like, why did the 6 take longer than that? Maybe there was a re-roof. Maybe we were waiting on communication. Maybe we were waiting on some information in order to make sure that that gets completed correctly and we can process the job. Just like Gayla said, clean submissions are key here, folks. The cleaner a job comes in, no stipulations, all the IDs, all the titles and verifications and everything are completed, it will lead to a faster process, faster velocity, a speedier experience for sure.
Yep. And I can't go too much further without bringing up everybody's favorite topic from math class, mean, median, and mode. Does everybody remember that? Where mean is just the average, so that's where we got 3 days. We added everything up and divided it back, and that's that. Median is if you line them all up, start to finish, what's the middle number? And that's 2 days, actually. And if you look at the mode, that's the most common number. Again, 2 days. So we're looking at an average of 2 to 3 days, any way you cut it. But
For sure.
averages are averages.
Yep. Love it.
It's exciting. We're really feeling good about how quickly we're able to push these through. I just want to touch base. One other thing that can really help us help you is the communication of response. Like if there is a stipulation, if we do need that information and we're reaching out to you to ask you for clarification, the quicker that you respond to us, we know you're busy. We know you're out there in the homes and working on the next deal, but the response time to get back to us with that information is going to help us help you in getting those projects moving quicker.
Yeah, and Gayla, that transcends to the homeowner too. So you as a sales rep, if you can just let that homeowner know, like as the text comes in, if you can step away wherever you're at and just reply as quick as possible, that result within the same 10, 15 minutes will really impact the speed to install.
For sure.
Let me move on. Here we go. Okay, communication. That I think is probably one of the most massive changes that hopefully everybody is experiencing for themselves. But we can see it. So, Gayla, take it away. I know this is your jam.
We love to communicate. And I know sometimes it can be like, you're like, wow, you're texting me again, or you're calling me again. But that's what we do over here with Concierge. The key to this velocity to getting these projects taken care of is really the communication. And we want to be here to support you. We want to work together as a team. And please don't hesitate to pick up the phone and give us a call with a little bit of grace that we might be on a call with another homeowner. We might be on a call with another sales representative, but we're going to get back to you as soon as possible. possible. We're working diligently to make sure that every customer is receiving updates at least once a week. I think we're averaging almost 2.5 to 3 days right now of communication to the homeowners and to the reps to ensure that we're all in the same loop. And I am seeing a little bit of feedback coming back where it's like the sales representatives might not be getting the information. So important to make sure that we have the right telephone number for you in QuickBase in your profile so that when we're sending those messages out, it's not going to some random person that maybe you changed your number. And this just happened yesterday. They changed their number. So some random person is like texting in and wasn't exactly the best communication, especially homeowner front. So we want to make sure we have the correct telephone number for you so we can tie that in and make sure that you have visibility to see that everything that's being communicated to the homeowner, everything that we're asking for or that we're needing to continue moving your projects forward, and then also having that visibility in QuickBase. So Andy, Brandon, maybe you guys can speak a little bit more to what that communication looks like, but we're definitely working hard to ensure that you have all of those updates available there in QuickBase as well.
Absolutely. Danny, you mind if I steal the show? Express what that
Go right ahead, my good man.
This is actually my favorite part of the whole webinar, guys, because like I'm a visual guy. I want to see what we're talking about. So can you guys see my screen?
Yo.
All right. This is a text thread between my client, Chris Spear, and his family. And then that's our solar family. And then the 424 number, that's ESP. That's our concierge team. So again, sold the deal, completed the form through that project submission form from the email. And that triggered Gayla and her team to go ahead and start diving into the available 3 site survey dates. Once they had a date locked in, they introduced themselves. Welcome to the team, homeowners included. I say thank you, Courtney and the team. Appreciate you at Chris, just letting my homeowner know, hey, let's work together. And then as you can see, the homeowner is already like really stoked about the communication, hops right in there, and we're moving along. After site survey, well, we got project acceptance and design plans. Design plans were directly sent to the homeowner and the sales rep to review. We looked at these. I called the homeowner. I'm like, bro, this looks pretty good. What do you think? And he's like, hey, rock on. This is solid. So we said, hey, good job. We're happy. Let's move forward. We said, hey, we need a few more details about the HOA. So we got that dialed in. And then it came time for install. And we're like, we noticed on the site survey photos, there's quite a bit happening in your garage. We need that wall space cleared before we can schedule. Homer's like, hey, sorry about that. Let me get that removed. Boom, sends a photo. That triggers our team to queue up install because we got everything done that's needed for next steps. And then from there, now we're ready for inspection. This is a military family. He's not going to be home. So even though we wanted to schedule inspection, we had to pause it. And he's like, hey, let's aim for 5-2 right around there. And then my team said, great. Or I shouldn't even say my team. I'm so sorry, Gayla. Your team said, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and get 5-2. That's on the calendar, 2nd of May.
We're all one family, Brandon. You know that. We're all ESP here.
One team, one dream, Brandon.
Exactly. Coffee kicking in, guys. But this is what I've always hoped for since I started in solar. This is a beautiful thing. I love it.
This is great. Thank you for bringing this example up of just how we're trying to set the expectations with the homeowner, set the expectations with the sales partner, and just keep everything fluid and moving forward. The quicker that we send that information out, the quicker we get the response. And having you chime in with the homeowner and say, hey, I saw this design come through. What do you think? Really helps push the needle because we have to have that design confirmation to go to permitting. We will not move past design into permitting without a confirmation from the homeowner. So if you're seeing a delay and you're wondering, why is this still sitting in design? Why haven't we moved to permitting? It's because we've not been able to confirm that with the homeowner, whether it's email, it's phone, it's text message. So in those particular times, another circumstance where we can help one another, reaching out to your homeowner and saying, hey, I saw that design confirmation come through. Have you had a chance to take a look at it? Do you have any questions? Those are all things that are going to help us push, again, that velocity to move into permitting and get to installation.
Love that. Well said. One of the things that I've been seeing with these 3-way text threads that we've put together between the homeowner and you guys, the reps, and us ESP, I find it best. I've seen a few people answer back in the text threads of like, who is this? What's going on?
Yeah.
New phone, who dis? And I think it's a good idea for you, just as a best practice, setting right expectations. Name the chat, the name of your homeowner, or name it whatever you want so that it clicks in your brain whenever it comes through and you don't have to scroll through the thread and find out who the customer is or who's calling and why they're calling. Anyways, I think that's a really good idea. Right when you set up the job, like rename the thread, name it something that you can remember, because we're gonna communicate a lot. We've decided as a company in our industry that it's better to over communicate rather than under communicate. Because as I always like to say, the lack of communication leads to hallucination. And if you don't know what's going on, you're going to make up a story in your head, right? If somebody's late and they haven't called, they for sure are dead, right? And it's like the worst exaggeration, hallucination happens in your head when when you don't know what's going on.
The guys with the panels on the truck just got into horrible. The panels are strewn all over the freeway. It's awful. It's
Yeah, they
carnage
for
everywhere.
sure flew off a cliff. They're in the ocean somewhere, whatever it might be. You're making up these stories in your head. And so with a little bit more communication, it leads to understanding, right? And having a little bit more awareness around it. So we're gonna continue to communicate a lot. And I think a good piece of the puzzle too is if there's something that you need to say without the homeowner being there, go directly to the concierge.
Please.
Don't do it in that channel. Keep it cool, keep it professional. And I know Gayla probably wants to talk about that a little bit later on in the game, but like keep it PC, right? To a certain extent, and like take it offline if it needs to be an offline discussion to, again, better set proper expectations and have a better experience. There's my 2 cents.
Yeah, for sure. We have a whole slide on best practices. So thank you,
Hey.
Andy, for hitting it early, because we do want to drill this in. He's saying some stuff that we want to really, really make sure everybody follows those best practices as much as possible. So if you already have, and many of you probably should have a conversation with a concierge, save their number, save those conversations as like a little group chat and name it whatever you want, however it makes sense for your brain. Yeah, and then again, yeah, if you're ever curious about what is happening, if you happen to be out of the loop for any reason, or if, say, your manager or one of the admins at your org wants to see what's going on in a particular job, all of the communications are in QuickBase, and we'll be sharing the instructions on how to find that. We're changing a couple things around on how things are viewed in there, but we want to make it just really clean and easy to find the entire conversation thread that way. So, okay. Speaking of, yeah, just how to get things into our pipeline. We are changing things again for the better. What we've realized is the process that we set up a while ago now with the automated intake form, there have been a lot of issues where we're getting just tons of duplicates of these jobs. And that's actually slowing down our ability to find them and start communicating with you and the customer pretty badly. So we're going to be updating this very soon. We're just putting the final tweaks on it. We're just giving everybody an early heads up.
Yeah, I'd love to chime in on this.
Gayla, thank you.
Yeah, hi, for sure. There's been several circumstances where we are getting communication saying, hey, I submitted a job, or a lead, but it's not converting to a job. I haven't heard from you. I haven't received that intro text or scheduling the site survey. So the team's going in there and trying to look to see where's this lead at? Why hasn't it converted? And some of the most common things that we're seeing are simple fixes. It's maybe it was the wrong email address that was typed in, or the company name didn't load. Just little tiny things that you think are just going to be so obvious and screaming at you. But I don't know about you guys, sometimes the most obvious things are totally missed because I see it in my head and I'm like, oh no, I already know I did that. And then I'll go back and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, maybe I didn't do that. So trying to take away those obstacles for you and making it smoother and easier so that when you're submitting the job, it's coming to us, we'll be able to grab it. We get that instant text message saying, hey, a new job has been submitted. Please schedule the site survey for this homeowner. Then we're able to hop in there and get that taken care of for you. So having all of the information there, having that automated coming to us, and when you're putting those site inspection dates in there, we're able to grab that information much quicker, get that text message out to you sooner, and be able to start working on the project.
Well said, Gayla. I think for me, automation, automation, automation. The robots are coming. AI is here. They're taking over. Skynet is happening. It's in real time now. No, I think that this form was good for a time, but really the automations and the triggers things happening behind the scenes when jobs are getting sold, when jobs are getting converted. We really want to lean on that kind of information for us to gather all the data quickly and get the ball rolling as fast as possible. And so we're taking the next steps
Yep.
in making that all work seamlessly for all of you. So it is literally super easy. Job signed, all the triggers happen, and everything starts going from there. So watch this space. We'll continue to update. We'll continue to grow. We'll continue to get better and better and smarter.
Absolutely. I think one more thing too, Andy, that we could capitalize on is I know when I'm in a home, when do I get most excited as a sales rep? When the homeowner's like, let's move forward with credit, right? I get so pumped up that I space out. I forget like what is that next step? Shoot, this is might be my first sale. So I always think it's important to slow down to speed up.
Yeah.
So by slowing down, your fat fingers, they reduce, you know where to go. And honestly, practice it as a few times. Dealer owners, if you're on this call, like meet with your team and pretend like you actually sold the deal and what next steps should you take with ESP. And if you're not sure, use your AE, lean on us. We will provide that training for you and make sure you're confident when that homeowner does say, let's run credit.
Yeah. Don't forget the utility bill.
Yeah, don't forget. Key component there.
Yeah.
As I prefer to say, please remember the utility bill.
Please remember the utility bill. Well said.
Please.
Yeah. We do have a walkthrough video that we're going to be trimming up that goes through everything a little bit as a better breakdown step by step coming out here shortly. But one of the other things I want to mention on this point too, and we touched on it earlier, we'll touch on it again. Save the concierge number in your phone because in the long run, if not already, you're going to be working with the same concierge team pretty regularly. You might see some cases where you'll have one or two different teams assigned to you depending on region or whatever is going on. But for the most part, you will be working with the dedicated crew. So they're going to get to know you. You should get to know them. You should save them in your phone. And so when you submit a job and you think you filled out everything correctly, but you're still not getting an intro text, shoot them a text message to the concierge and say, hey, did you see one for John Smith? Did that just come through? And they can pull it up into the system and see, oh, okay, yep, maybe either no, we haven't gotten anything, so there's something missing pre it hitting our system, or, oh yeah, we did find it, the wires got crossed somewhere, but we can get it sorted out that way pretty swiftly. So that's kind of the way we're going into the near future here.
Yeah, that I think Kevin had a good question. Maybe Danny, you were talking about it, but text, phone, or email when discussing anything directly with a concierge, what's the fastest way to do it, Gayla?
Typically, the quickest way to reach them is going to be text message because they're going to be on the phone. We're communicators. Like I said, that's our job, is to be on the phone all the time. So typically the quickest way would be a text message. If you call, we're going to get back to you. However, just please keep in mind, it's a matter of depending on what particular calls we are on and the duration. But definitely, I know for myself and many of my team members, we're great at multitasking. So if we're on the phone and we see a text message come through, it's a matter of like, okay, let me at least respond to you and say, hey, I see this. Let me get back to you as soon as I'm off this call.
Yeah, I just sent 3 texts during this, so
Yeah.
no. And I would think if you have a detailed question or something detailed that's needed that can't be sent in like a decently sized text. I know that I get some texts from my mom that are like, I have to scroll through and I'm like, oh God, mom, just call me. Or like if it's something serious, like send me an email. That way I can really dive into what that is and have time to respond to it accordingly.
For sure. And I do want to say that there are certain conversations that definitely need to be had aside from the homeowner. So we're here to ensure that you're looking the best as possible in front of the homeowner. So pick up the phone and give us a call and let's have that conversation, because tone, influx, that's all missed in text message. So we want to make sure that we're having a really strong team mentality of we're working together to take care of these homeowners. Sorry, Danny, I
Yep.
jumped you into the
You
slide.
segue. That's called a perfect segue. Thank you, Gayla. That set it
Let me
up
do my
just
Vanna White.
smooth as butter here. So we're talking
Perfect.
about it.
Awesome. So yeah, just continuing on with the professionalism. Obviously, we're all here representing one team, one dream. And in our text messages in that thread, our team is naming those. So we know whom we're talking to at every single time. And so like it's been said before, like please save that as well so that you know who we're communicating about, because I see some confusion coming back and forth. I see every single text message that comes through. And trust me, when I talk about multitasking, I'm sitting here working, but I'm seeing every single message that comes through. And there's a lot of confusion that I'm seeing. And so it's a matter of like, oh, okay, maybe you're referring to this project when we're actually talking about this project. So naming that and keeping in mind that everything that's going into that group text message the homeowner is seeing. So how do we want to be perceived? We want to be perceived as one team and that we're moving forward and we're professional and eloquent and as much as possible in those communications. You want to be casual when you're talking to the concierge one-on-one, then of course, like we're here to help you, to assist in all of your projects. But just please keep that in mind that everything that goes into that group text message is representation of ESP, of your organization, and of the hard work that you've put into making that sale to begin with. So we want to do everything we can to stay positive and ensure that that homeowner feels confident in all of us.
Take a step back before you type something and ask yourself, is Gayla going to be very disappointed in me if I say something the way, no.
That's what
Gayla
I do,
sees
Danny.
all text. So
All.
you just
I just that might have come across a little bit wrong, but
no. Hey, listen, yeah, no.
It gives me the opportunity to be able to come forward and say, hey, these are opportunities that we're seeing.
Yeah.
And so let's move forward with this direction.
And you touched on something that I think is really key to here is that we are all humans on this chat. So if you do have a customer who you have developed that sort of more conversational rapport with, that could be fun. I mean, as long as everybody's on the same page of like, this is how the homeowner likes to be communicated with, then we can all lean into it. That's great. That really helps us, again, build that same one team, one dream mentality and everything like that. But yeah, don't just wing it on the fly if that's not what is called for. If you're talking to Mr. Engineer the same way that you're talking to Mr. and Mrs. Hang loose on the beach in flip-flops, like I don't know, we might want to step back and look at that a little bit differently though.
For sure. And we will start off extremely professional to gain that trust and that understanding of how this homeowner wants to communicate with us, and then adjust accordingly to where I have seen some really casual conversations. And it's like, hey, Joe, like, how's your day going? Just wanted to touch base with you and let you know that this is where we're at. We're moving your project here. And that's how the homeowner prefers to be communicated to. Whereas, Danny, like you said, some of them, it's very much like, let me put this through ChatGPT before I send this message out.
For sure. Cool. Well, yeah, I think again, just along the lines of setting the right expectations with everybody. Gail already touched on this too. Like if we cannot get you an immediate answer on something like that, we appreciate every ounce of grace you're willing to give us. Our working hours are, correct me if I'm wrong on the scale, it's 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday to Saturday, right? For concierge crews.
This is, I want to just make sure we're clear. That is for new projects coming in.
New projects.
So
Thank
yes,
you.
Yes, new
Thank
projects
you.
coming in. I don't
Okay.
have a team that works 12 hours a day, 6 days a week.
Okay.
But our office hours are 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. And that's where you're going to see all of that communication coming through and working to move these projects forward, updates to the homeowners, being able to assist with sales representative questions and so forth like that. But those new projects that are coming in, we want to make sure that we get those site inspections scheduled as soon as possible and get that engagement or continue that engagement while you're there with the homeowner, because they're psyched, right? They're like, okay, we're going solar. So we want to make sure the first thing that we do is get that site inspection scheduled and confirm them and reassure them that they made a great choice.
Yeah. We know how important it is to lock in that sale, and that comes with a quick site survey turnaround. So
absolutely. Well, with the magic of editing, I am going to update this slide to say new job intake working hours are 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Yeah. Job
Awesome.
specific. Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
and then also on the expectations of turnarounds on the updates, we receive those requests of like, hey, can I get an update on this project? And we'll respond with, hey, let me check on that for you, or I'm working on this, because we are. And we might have to reach out to the AHJ to find out what's going on with the permits. And in some circumstances, we can get a really quick response. In other circumstances, we're on the phone every single day, like, hey, we're leaving messages. We're doing everything that we can on an operational side to get this moving forward. So please allow a little bit of grace if we say, hey, you know what, I'm going to get you this information. It may not be the same day that we're able to get that, or even the next day, depending on how many messages we've left for the city or for the utility company. But we are working to get that moving as quick as possible.
Yeah.
I'll jump onto that too. We are getting faster and better at every stage of the project in every AHJ. Period. The numbers we've crunched them since last year, even since the last 6 months. We're probably 60 to 70% just faster across the board on all these, and it's because we are getting better at focusing and communicating and figuring out which areas we need to have. This is how fast it can go through a-okay versus they need a little bit more time on these. But yeah, like we said a few times, every homeowner is getting an update at least once a week, and sometimes the update is we're still working on it, we're hanging out, but we're here for you.
Yeah. One thing real quick I know a lot of people have been seeing Solar App Plus out there with some of the cities and moving things quickly. Just a quick update on that and some different information that maybe not everybody knows. But once we're submitting a job for Solar App Plus, it doesn't always mean a 24-hour permit approval right off the bat. Some AHJs require what's called a plan check on top of the permit submission. And that permit submission can sometimes take a couple days extra, but it definitely speeds up the process altogether through all of the Solar App Plus AHJs and cities. Some of them are immediate, boom, but some of those cities, and we're updating our database, and we're going to get a list together to share with everybody of, great, if you're in the city of Carson, they have Solar App Plus, but they have a required plan check. So the permit gets approved, but the plan check needs to be approved in order for the permit to be released. So just a quick update on that. They're learning, we're learning together. We're getting faster.
I'll jump on that too, because I helped do some of that research. Solar App Plus has different levels to it as well. Some of these AHJs are still, we got Solar App Plus for PV only. That doesn't do us much good when we're trying to slap batteries onto that bad boy now, does it? So
for sure.
there is a different breakdown of which types of jobs they have Solar App Plus for. But again, like Andy said, we're digesting all that information, we're updating the database, we're enhancing the Skynet powers. It's all good.
Love it.
Okay. Well, I wanted to close out the concierge section with just giving a huge thank you to everybody who's on our concierge team. In fact, there are so many people on the concierge team, but I couldn't fit them all on this slide. So I apologize to everybody who I couldn't fit on this slide, but thank you to everyone. Yeah, if you know who you're working with, give them a shout. Send that introduction to every homeowner, every rep, so you get to see the face of the people you're working with. And I think that's really important too, to just redevelop that sense of we're people, we're here for you, we're on the same team. Next time you're going to send a text out that you're a little frustrated with somebody, pull up the slide that has their face on it and really just look them in the eyes. Am I about to send this message to this beautiful human that I'm working with? So I just always want to help drive that connection. But these people are great. Again, the people we're missing, I can name them off the bat: Jerome, PJ, I couldn't fit you on here, Taylor, Gayla, I couldn't fit you on here, Juan, Nathan's helping out a bunch in the back. We got a ton of people obviously across the board in the team who's helping out. One team, one dream. But huge ups.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much for that. We really appreciate it. It's an exciting transition for us here at ESP, and this is all new for all of us. So we're excited to see where we've started and where we've come so far, and the growth and learning along the way, and a lot of feedback from you guys to say, hey, I'm noticing this, or can we do this, or thank you for this. And we appreciate those shout outs too. So when we're doing something great, letting us know that, hey, this is the direction, this is awesome, as well as those opportunities opportunities of improvement. So just a big shout out to you guys, to the support here, Andy, Brandon, Danny, and all of the sales organizations and sales reps that we work with, because we really want to just make 2025 awesome and leave the past in the past, because yes, we've all learned that that didn't work, but we're seeing great results here. And it's like that new relationship. We're not carrying that old baggage into the new relationship, right? So give us a chance. We are doing everything that we can to support you and ensure that we're moving your homeowners' projects, your projects forward as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. Well, just a small tweak on that. We are taking care of all the baggage. 100% of all the jobs in. Go ahead, Gayla. I don't mean to correct you. I'm not trying to correct you at all.
No. You're right. Absolutely right. I'm sorry if it came across that way. Definitely not leaving those jobs in the past, but just meaning a new team, a new opportunity. And we're coming in fresh with a lot of excitement and a lot of energy. So for 2025. But thank you.
Yeah, no, 100% of ESP jobs have concierge. I think that's worthy of just a quick golf clap right there. But yeah, the teams are doing great. I think even some of these homeowners, from what I've seen, people who have had jobs that have been stuck in the backlog, they are sending emails in just saying like, oh my gosh, I am so glad that we have, I'll call that Austin. I'm so glad we have Austin on our team now. He has been amazing to work with. Thank you so much. We still need help moving the project forward, but because they have that single point of communication, it is just absolutely elevating and changing their experience for the better. So we're working towards it one step at a time, one panel at a time. That's how we do it here.
Yeah. Gayla, I just got to start dressing nicer. Look at your team, dude. They look. I gotta work.
Gotta work on my power pose.
Listen, we're doing everything we can to represent. We're bringing it. So I just received a text message, and I just want to go back to the professionalism. Please don't swear at my team. Like, that's not beneficial. Like, that doesn't help anybody. And just right now, that just came through. So I just want to come back around. It's so super important. Please look at these people in their faces and know that they have feelings and that they're working hard. And it can be frustrating on our end too sometimes, and as well as frustrating on yours. So please just keep that in mind when we're communicating, that we are here to help one another and really form a great relationship, so that we can pick up that phone and be like, hey, what's going on, Danny? How's it going? Let me take a look at this project and find out what's going on right now.
I want people swearing for a good reason. It is going so effing great right now, guys. Thank you so much. So
I love that.
We do get those, but
we get them. We want more of those. We want more of that kind of angle. All right. Well, here we are. It's coming up on one of my favorite times of the year, Star Wars Day, May the 4th. But to anyone who doesn't celebrate, we're just leaning into it a little bit here. We got a fun sales contest for next month. So again, we're keeping things shrouded in mystery a little bit here for another week or so, but we're going to have weekly prizes, some really cool stuff once a week. Basically, the way we're structuring it is, if you sell a job that week, you're in the drawing for that week. If you sell 4 jobs in the month of May, you're into the grand prize drawing at the end, May 30th. You can sell 1 deal a week. You can sell more than 1 deal a week. You can sell all 4 jobs the very last week. We don't really care, but that's how we're structuring it right now. Brandon, I think you might be wearing one of the prizes right now, potentially, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, buddy, let's go.
Okay.
Nice.
Got these really nice Legends sweatshirts. Great stuff. Yep, right there. If you want to be a legend, if you want to be rocking the Q cells and ESP stuff, we got you. That's just one. That's just one of the prizes that you could win if you start selling. So
yeah, we got a really cool collab going on with Legends, as many of you know, and so watch the space. It'll be a fun little trip through the month of May. May the 4th be with you, and we'll go from there. But thanks, everybody. Appreciate your time today.
Awesome.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, Gayla.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for the invite. Have a great day.
Take care. Bye, guys.
Go Concierge team.
Woo! Bye.
Happy Friday.